When he's not dancing around like a maniac, designing anatomically correct nipple suits, or, killing people. Batman is considered by many to be the GSHOAT, even though he has no powers outside of being the world's greatest billionaire detective. But those billions really do help. You have to hand it to the bloke though, with all that wealth, the rest of us would be hanging out on some tropical island, snorting Charlie off of hookers and mentionables, not taking on the scum of Gotham. And winning!
There are a few absolutes in the world of comics. Uncle Ben is dead and stays that way. Jean Grey will die and always comes back. And Batman plus prep time equals victory over anyone. Anyone! But the Doopie Bros got thinking, surely there's someone out there who could break the bat. As always, we'll be examining that elite group of underdogs who, given the right circumstances, could pull off an unlikely win. So who made the list?
Number 5, Jubilee.
Often sidelined for being the totally lame mole rat she is, we reckon Jubilation Lee stands a decent chance against the Cape Crusader. I know what you're thinking. Bruce could just don a pair of Ray-Bans and take out this pesky little blighter with his vastly superior combat skills. Hey, maybe that's why he got those cool new goggles. Or perhaps he just wanted to look more like Night Owl. Joking aside, Jubilee is not a 90s teen stereotype to be trifled with. She may be annoying, but she is pretty powerful too. Aside from the fireworks, she's been a vampire, technologically enhanced, and even a single mom. The greatest type of hero, but even as plain old Jubilee, she can detonate matter on a subatomic level, which has used a pretty decent effect in the past.
We know bats can take a punch like a Barbadian pop star, but the regular batsuit is no match for such plasmoid assault. His best hope would be to tie up the little brat's hands, thus limiting her offensive options. A bat net, a bat line, a bat handcuff, anything bat themed really. The difficulty comes in actually ensnaring her. Jubilation is quite the nimble little minx, having shown extraordinary agility and reflexes in the past. Bats isn't normally one to underestimate an opponent, but that yellow trench coat might prove distracting enough for him to let his guard down. Having taken down the likes of Sauron in the past, Jubilee could end Bats with a single hit. However, being the gymnast orphan she is, Bats is more likely to take her in as the new Robin.
Number 4, Hawkeye.
He fights alongside some of Marvel's most powerful superheroes. He nearly took down a helicarrier with a single arrow. Hell, he would have taken out Thor had Coulson not stopped him. So it's safe to assume Clint Barton would wreck a man dressed as a bat. He does, after all, have an arrow for every occasion. And long-range attacks will always be Bruce's big weakness. The diversity of his arrows alone would cause trouble for the Dark Knight, with explosives, smoke, and even putty to keep his opponent at distance. He also has impeccable aim, and aims so good, he might even put bats to shame.
In some ways, Hawkeye is the Batman of the Avengers. Maybe he's not as cunning or rich as Bruce, but he's still the powerless guy with a bit of tech, running around with gods. And despite his printed name and its unfortunate appearance, Clint does have a big advantage over Bruce. His family? Okay, Bruce has the Bat family and even Damian, but Clint is a real family guy. They're both orphans, but unlike Bruce, Clint doesn't fight out of sorrow and grief. In fact, the strength his family gives him may well provide the edge he needs. He's pretty handy in a fist-throwing match too. He can even stand up to the likes of Black Widow and her extremely dangerous twirly head flip things. They really do work in real life, so Bats should be a walk in the park.
Number 3, the Chameleon.
The easiest way to kill the world's greatest detective is via surprise attack, right? So who better to take him down than the world's greatest cosplayer, the Chameleon? Okay, that's a picture of a chameleon. That's Kid Chameleon. Okay, close enough. Dmitry Smerdyakov is a true master of disguise who graduated from simple masks and wigs to full-on shapeshifting. As a former spy, the Chameleon wouldn't be silly enough to engage Bat's mano a mano. He'd most likely gather intelligence on his foe, building up a detailed dossier of potential weaknesses, before going in for the kill.
As we found out in The Dark Knight Rises, Batman's alter ego ain't the best kept secret in town. So what if, after learning Bruce's secret, Dmitri turns up to the Wayne Manor incognito? As Alfred answers the door, the sneaky Russian could take out the butler, hide his body, then take on his identity. Once inside the mansion, the Chameleon would wreak havoc with any number of kill options at his disposal. Poison, garroting Bruce while he sleeps, sticking a gun up his ass and pulling the trigger till it goes click. You name it. 8-year-olds did.
Number 2, Dupe.
Not only did this son of a bitch take our name, he also stole our look. Yes, we're actually hovering green Slimer lookalikes. Appearances aside, Doop has a vast array of abilities which Batman would struggle to deal with. Wolverine's BFF is super strong and durable, has regenerative abilities, and is capable of energy projection too. In truth, the extent of Doop's powers are still unknown, much like our own. What we can tell you is that when he's not slapping the bass, he's taken on Thor and even lifted Mjolnir. Jeez, the measure of worthiness really has gone down a notch recently.
Despite the depth of Batman's utility belt, he unfortunately doesn't carry Dupe repellent. He does have a few options though. A Batarang, then an exploding Batarang. Just for variety. Once he realises his physical attacks aren't working, Batman's next thought will be to retreat and try and figure out a weakness. Dupe won't let him go though, having previously shown the ability to suck other life forms into its own body. Inside is the nightmare dimension known as Dupeland, which is where we hail from, and let us tell you, it ain't a pretty picture. Growing up on the mean streets of Dupeland, we know for a fact Batman wouldn't last a second. In comparison, Gotham is a utopia, so again, the Dark Knight falls.
Number 1, Squirrel Girl.
As David Attenborough will attest, the squirrel is the natural enemy of the bat.
And here we see the eternal adversaries, the squirrel and the bat, the snake and the mongoose of the tree-dwelling mammal world. But of course, the squirrel has the natural advantage.
For real though, Squirrel Girl is a very dangerous opponent, having brought down the likes of Deadpool, Doctor Doom, and Thanos without even breaking a sweat.
Against an army of these meddlesome rodents, Batman has almost no defense. There's just nothing he can do. The power of squirrels is insurmountable. Forget his years of training, extensive catalogue of gadgets, and his trustworthy butler. Nothing can stand up to an off-panel pasting from a bunch of squirrels. Not even prep time.
Thanks for watching folks, we beg you to pay attention to the day this video was published and take all this with a pinch of salt. That's right, it's all an April Fool's gag that kinda got out of hand. We don't really think these people can beat Batman, except for Dupe. He'd obviously kick the crap out of Bruce. Hopefully you made it this far without punching your screen or launching into an expletive-filled rant, but if not, we welcome your passionate comments. If you do want to watch something that's not a piss take, you could check out these other Doopie videos. And please feel free to like and subscribe, and come visit us in Dupeland anytime you like.